But let's get into, speaking of these Chargers, okay? We are underreacting to their completeness as a team in the NFL. I asked Will Compton and Taylor Lewan, kind enough to join us this week. Is it the best defense in the AFC West? Or sorry, in the AFC? And they were like, maybe. I think it might be. I think it might be. Ravens, great. Broncos there need to show us a couple of things, but they've answered some big questions, three specifically that have sort of stood out to me. The first question was, will this offense evolve in year two with Greg Roman, right? Greg Roman got hired. First to say it, I wasn't that. I was like, do we love that? Run heavy approach. It did work. It worked great in year one in this new regime and new moment. But, to get where they want to go and get past these juggernauts in the AFC, they needed to open it up a little more. So can they evolve in year two? And yeah, it looks like so far, and it looks like they really have. If you look at Monday night, he opened the game up by calling pass plays on 12 of LA's 14 snaps, their first 14 snaps. So I don't think any of us ever thought we'd see that from Greg Roman. You have these like different level, old dog, new tricks. Yeah, and we saw the pass happy approach week one too. Of course, we saw it in Sao Paulo against the Chiefs. I feel like that might have been more specific against Kansas City and that secondary that was so banged up or not. They clearly saw something they wanted to expose outside of Trent McDuffie, right? So I thought it was just the Chiefs, but no, it wasn't, right? The other night shows you that this is how this offense is going to look now. And Justin has looked nearly flawless with even more put on his plate, which is amazing. 5 touchdowns, no picks so far. He's got time for date nights at Delilah, second highest passer rating in the league. I love this for him. And the other reason that this approach has worked so well has been the answer to question number 2 that I had about the Chargers. What is the receiving room going to look like outside of Ladd McConkey? This is not something that I doubted. I was excited to see it. They did the right thing. They brought in the right pieces and they brought in Keenan, okay? And it looks better than I even could have imagined with Quentin Johnston living up to his talent. I love this for his arc, for his confidence, right? He's leading the NFL with 3 touchdown catches. He's put together a beautiful two weeks. He's got the size and speed. We know he had all those things. Keenan has scored meaningful touchdowns in both games with very little time with that new Greg Roman playbook and approach under a new head coach, though he knows those Chargers and Justin Herbert quite well. He has not missed a beat. They're 5 deep right now with legit playmakers. Patrick Mahomes is looking at this depth chart thinking, why not me? Why don't I have this? And then there was question number 3. I don't know what are we looking at right here? Is this a defense right here? Okay, let's get to it. How can this offensive line protect Justin without Mr. Rashawn Slater? If you're looking right here, the O-line's allowed 7 pressures so far this season, fewest in the NFL. Alt looks like an all-pro after sliding into that left tackle spot that he knows so well. The rest of this reshuffled line, they're getting it done. So you combine all that with the reigning number 1 ranked Jesse Minter defense, and you cannot poke a hole in this team right now. And I love that. So let's move on to Jonathan Taylor. These are super long. At Up and Adam show with your underreactions. But yeah, the Chargers have answered every question. And anybody who's not convinced, if they do what they did, if they can do that to the Broncos, who we have some questions, like they had a great offensive week, a great defensive week, and they put it together against the Chargers. We'll learn so much about these teams in week 3 when there's like a little bit less rest and they're all for full go in a divisional game. It'll be so fun. Okay, I'm going to try to segue with like a Jim Harbaugh, Michigan-y thing into last night, because I'm sure when you're watching that, Taylor, you're like, man, Jim is so good. And he's getting the best out of this team. Defense was freaking amazing. So let's talk about this one. 3rd best MVP odds right now, Justin Herbert on FanDuel Sportsbook, plus 850. There is a bit of a different something to him. He's going on dates at Delilah here in LA. He's, there's middle fingers on TV being shown. I don't know if you guys have takes on that. Taylor, who is this Justin Herbert?
I mean, I think Justin Herbert is exactly what Jim Harbaugh said on Rich Eisen a few months ago. He was literally waking up in a fever dream talking about, I have to make this guy a Hall of Fame quarterback. And the way you do that is to win MVPs, is to win Offensive Players of the Years, and to win Super Bowls. And then the first 2 weeks, they've had 2 notable opponents and have handled it. 2 in-division opponents. And I sat here on your show 2 years ago and said, this is my hot take, is in 2 to 3 years, they'll be winning the division. And it seems like right now they're on pace to hit that quota. I mean, Justin Herbert's fantastic, but, at some point there's going to be a defense that comes in and, stops Justin Herbert and his throwing capabilities. That's where Jesse Minter and his defense comes into the game, because it's not just that they give up yards begrudgingly, but when there is open field, you see the coaching and the open field tackling. One guy on one guy. He's not going over the diving board. He's not stepping under himself. He's getting the guy to the ground without the cavalry who's still there yet. And that is a sign of a great coach team. They don't make a whole lot of mistakes. They're missing their best left tackle right now. And it seems like they haven't missed a step, even though this made Rashad Slater the highest paid in NFL history. So they have a lot of good things going for them. I think establishing more of the run game as we get into it. I didn't like their 3rd and 1 and their 4th and 1. But at the end of the day, it's like a win's a win. They don't ask how, they ask how many.
Well, any thoughts?
With Justin Herbert, as it pertains to Justin Herbert, this has been a quarterback who's been penciled in at times as a top 5 quarterback in the league. I think this year, the start he's off to now, he could be inking his name into the top 5 quarterback conversation. With the way he's playing, he's starting to play to that potential that everybody saw him as he was coming into the Chargers. I think him and Coach Harbaugh is a match made in heaven. I'm excited. I think this division's wide open. You got the Chiefs who are 0-2 right now, haven't been 0-2 since 2014, could go 0-3 this week against the New York Giants. You got the Raiders who can be spicy. They need they can't just depend. You saw it last night. You can't just depend on Chip Kelly, Geno Smith in that offense to put up points. You're going to have to show up defensively. And then again, you look at the Broncos. Broncos should have won that football game. They had a awful, brutal penalty at the end of the game. But that division's wide open, and I'm excited to watch it, especially with Justin Herbert, the coaches and the quarterbacks we got in that division.
You just did it again. You said this little thing that I have to follow with. Like, Will, are you calling for the upset of the Chiefs? Will they start 0-3?
Hey, I would.
Can I say something real quick?
Go ahead.
For the last 3-4 years, Will has been calling for the downfall of the Chiefs.
Taylor talks about the Chargers going to win the division. Listen, for the last decade or for the last however many years, I've been saying the Chiefs are going to fall at some point. This is a war, not a battle, and it looks like Willie C's starting to win the war.
This is what you call a negative progression in blackjack. Okay? You lose a bet, you double it. You lose a bet, you double it. You lose a bet, you double it. Now we're in a situation where Travis Kelce's getting a little older. Patrick Mahomes doesn't have a whole lot of weapons around him, and it's like, okay, this could actually be the year that the AFC West title holder is not the Kansas City Chiefs.
For some hammer time, get on in here, Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert, he could steal that MVP. He has looked fire through 2 weeks in Brazil, not in Brazil, divisional matchups, not. Can you just give me the skinny on what's working with this Greg Roman offense here too?
Yeah, I mean, we know he has all the talent in the world, but I don't think I've ever seen him play with this type of comfort and command in the pocket. He's playing like the best quarterback in the NFL right now. So let's get into that tape and take a look. Here he is Monday night against the Raiders. You see Quentin Johnson and Ladd McConkey there. We'll start with that touchdown to QJ. Ladd McConkey's running this deep cross. QJ is going to run a deep corner out. You'll see here the Raiders are playing cover 3, but watch how quickly Justin Herbert deciphers what's going on. He sees that corner pointing at Ladd McConkey. He's stopping on that crossing route. He's not getting his depth to the deep third of the field. With that safety in the middle of the field, he knows he has the angle to drill this in to Quentin. And look at this, 51.5 yards on a rope. You can't throw a better ball than that down the field. Touchdown there for Quentin. It looked easy on TV. That is not easy. And then here, the Raiders playing cover 2. Rookie Trey Harris is running a vertical here. That circled spot we have right there is the only place you can throw this football. And look at how quickly Justin processes. And look, equidistant between the safety and the corner. You can't throw it better. 36.5 yards on a line. Not many guys in this league can do that. Maybe Josh Allen and Mahomes, that's it. And then the big play in this game, 4th and 2. You're going to see the shallow cross from Ladd McConkey, Keenan Allen running a dig behind it. But just look at how patient Justin is here. He's going to look for Ladd initially off the play fake, but he sees Jeremy Chin dropping into that zone. He probably could make this throw, but it's tough. So he's going to get to the next read in his progression. Look at all the time he has back there, too. He can go make a reservation to Delilah again with all that time he has back in the pocket. Drills it into Keenan Allen. But watch why he has so much time. This is Greg Roman being a madman. 4th and 2, biggest play of the game. He's not going to block Max Crosby with an offensive lineman. He's going to use fullback/defensive lineman Scott Matlock and rookie running back Omarion Hampton to do it. Look at the shot Hampton gets in on Crosby. He gets nowhere near Herbert, buys him time to make that throw over the middle. And again, it's just the way he's operating this offense right now, the way Greg Roman is calling it, it is all working so well. And it is an elevation to Herbert. He should be at the forefront of this MVP conversation right now.
You seemed extra juiced about him. Like, this is not you've taken it up a notch. You are totally in on the Justin Herbert experience.
Yeah, I am. And I do think we had all those questions about the O-line. I love how Greg Roman is being creative. You don't think about creativity when it comes to pass protection, but that's what he's doing right now. And it's really helping keep Herbert clean. He's been pressured the least of any quarterback in the league.
Me going into that Sao Paulo season opener, all you and I did was prepare for this O-line talk that was going to happen. Like, you know, and how many times was I calling you like, no Slater? It needs to be talked about, like what this O-line has been able to do without him. And I don't know if they've completely even gelled. Now they do have a big test. They're saying, go do your thing at FanDuel Sportsbook, everybody. But big test against the Broncos. You know, it's the K-Bowl, Bo Nix versus Justin Herbert. Goodbye.